Welcome to part 4 of the most unhinged mid-year freakout book tag you will see on BookTube this year. I am dedicating a single video to each question of the tag. And today is question 4. What is the best manga, comic, or graphic novel you have read so far in 2025? And I've read 2 graphic novels in 2025. I haven't read any comics or mangas, and I enjoyed both graphic novels that I read. So the first one I read was Allergic, which is a middle grade graphic novel about this girl who discovers that she is allergic to animals, especially like cats and dogs, pets that she could want to have. And she is struggling with this, but it's talking about her feelings. It's talking about, like, she makes friends with the neighbor, and then the neighbor gets a dog and she feels betrayed because she's like, oh my gosh, the neighbor chose the dog over our friendship and I can't go to the neighbor's house and play anymore. And she also really wants a pet, so like she sneaks a pet into her room and, you know, then starts having like all of these really bad reactions, and her family's like, oh my gosh, like, is something going on? Because, you know, they don't have a pet in the house, and yet she's still having a bad reaction to things. As far as they know, they don't have a pet. So it's really just that growing up with allergies and navigating the difficult situations and navigating the difficult feelings that comes with that. And I thought it was a really good take on that. The other graphic novel I read, I actually, I have volumes 2 and 3 out from the library right now. It is March, and this is a story of John Lewis, and he also is credited in helping write the graphic novels. So this is books 2 and 3. I don't have book 1 because I read that one and I returned it to the library, and now I'm going to read books 2 and 3. March is about John Lewis, and volume 1 is him growing up on this farm and then how he becomes involved in the civil rights movement. We see him at the beginning of the story. He is an elected member of Congress. What the heck is that? Sorry, there is a road on the other side of the fence, but normally I can't see anything over it because the fence is high, and that was like a big bucket truck, and it's like right outside right there. Okay, anyway. I just didn't expect to see. It was just like this big mechanic arm came out first, and then I saw the bucket truck. So anyway, it's about John Lewis's story and his involvement in the civil rights movement. So, you know, like at the beginning of the story, like, he becomes an elected member of Congress, but you're like, how did he get here from? He talks about raising chickens on his farm, and then he talks about learning more about the world. He talks about reading the newspaper in his school library, and how he got involved, how he got to meet Martin Luther King Jr., how he got to get involved in the civil rights movement, particularly the movement he was involved in with like the sit-ins that were very focused on nonviolent resistance. And I'm currently reading a book that is called Across That Bridge, which is also just talking about like the patience it takes in order to see change. So I'm very interested in reading volumes 2 and 3 of this. So these ones, I guess, are nonfiction graphic novels, and then Allergic is the fiction graphic novel that I've read, and I do plan on reading more graphic novels this year. Like, this is one of my coworkers' favorites, and it is also a large one. But this is my favorite thing is monsters, and I think this is not a real story, but I think it's set during World War II or something. I'll have to look into it more, but apparently like everything in here is hand drawn by the artist with like a ballpoint pen drawing. So that is very impressive, and I'm interested in that one. So those are the, I guess, ones I'm going to be planning on reading immediately, as well as the ones I read and liked this year. So if you read comics, mangas, graphic novels, let me know in the comments what you've been reading and enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one.